Welcome back, Nerd Squad! My name is Roya Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. When you're building a team for competitive Pokemon play, it's natural to want to make sure the strongest Pokemon possible are on your team. You can't lose to your 10-year-old cousin again. There are a lot of ways to denote the strongest Pokemon, but the most objective way is to say who is strongest through total base stats, and that's what we're going to do today. So let's take a look at the top 10 strongest Pokemon, and today we are leaving Legendaries, Ultra Beasts, and Mega Evolutions off the list because we aren't a bunch of cheaters. In the number 10 spot, we kick off with Gyarados. It's always hilarious how the lowly Magikarp can evolve into a 540 base stat beast. Even without its Mega Evolution, Gyarados benefits from extremely high attack power and a dual typing of water and flying, which can really only be downed by electric types. If they get a chance to move first, of course, because Gyarados also has a decent speed to it that people do not expect. If you're facing Gyarados, knock it out as fast as you can. You do not want to get stuck between a Dragon Dance and an Outrage. Coming in at number 9, we have Togekiss. This thing doesn't look dangerous, but trust me, it is. Togekiss has base stats equaling 545, which is insanely high to begin with, but what really makes Togekiss scary in battle is when it has the ability Serene Grace, which increases the likelihood that attack's secondary effects will take place. It's incredibly defensive as well, so it's gonna take a lot of hits to bring this thing down. Just please, give me a break from the air slashes. I can only take so much damn flinching. Next up at number 8 is Volcarona. Bug types don't have the greatest rap for being usable competitively, but Volcarona is the scary exception to this rule. Not only does it have a base total of 550 for stats, but its dual bug fire typing cancels out damage from the common competitive ground types. In addition, it has access to Quiver Dance, which makes me quiver in frustration every time I see it used. If you can find a place to put this guy on your team, you'll probably have a new favorite. In the number 7 spot, we have Floriges. With the addition of fairy types to the game, suddenly those big bad dragons weren't looking too hot anymore, and Floriges is the perfect example of why. With base stats equaling 552 and an especially high special defense, we are bound to see a lot more of these guys in the metagame to combat the influx of mega dragons. There also aren't a whole lot of poison types used competitively, making Floriges an even safer choice to use. Coming in at number 6 is Arcanine. Arcanine was originally supposed to be a legendary Pokemon, so it's no surprise that his stats are in the upper range, coming in at 555 total. The reason you don't see too many of them competitively is because fire monotypes are often exposed to too many weaknesses, including an extra susceptibility to Stealth Rock. However, not only does Arcanine get himself a spot up here for strength, but also because he is one of the most unanimously loved designs across Pokemon fans, young and old. Next up at number 5, we have Archeops. The base stat Archeops has is 567, which is so high for a non-legendary Pokemon that it needed an ability to handicap it, or things would just be too easy. With the ability Defeatist, Archeops can only access its full attack and special attack stats when it has more than half its HP. Seems like throwing a good Pokemon in the trash, but you can get a lot done with those crazy stats before even taking a hit that's gonna screw you over. Especially because this thing is freakishly fast for a bird made of rocks. Next up at number 4 is Sylve. One of my favorite designs from Gen 7, Sylve comes in with a base stat total of 570. He is a normal type, and this throws off a lot of people until you realize you can attach a disc to him and turn him into any type you want, similar to how Arceus works with plates. The disadvantage to this is you lose a chance to hold an item, but you gain an incredible versatility and the ability to cover any weakness holes that are in your pre-existing team. Plus, you evolve Sylve with Friendship, which is always adorable. In the number 3 spot, we have the Pseudo Legendaries. This includes Dragonite, Tyranitar, Salamence, Metagross, Garchomp, Hydreigon, Goodra, and Como-O. These guys all have to share a space because they all have base stats equaling 600, and their strength depends on the strategy that the trainer is going for. Maybe you want a scary wall breaker like Hydreigon or a bulky tank approach like Goodra. It's all up to you. Just please don't make a team with Pseudo Legendaries only. You will experience a lot of rage quits. Coming in at number 2 is Wishy Washy. Yeah, so it turns out that the tiny little fish remedy reminiscent of Remoraid, is a powerhouse in disguise. With the schooling ability, Wishy Washy instantly turns into a base 620 fighting machine, as long as you keep its HP above 25%. After that, you can kiss victory goodbye, because the thing is as delicate as wet tissue paper. Competitively, Wishy Washy has a bit of a restricted move pool, but in the right hands, it can act as an incredibly frightening sweeper, especially against Sandstorm and Sunny Day teams. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have Slaking, the literal king of the stat game here. Slaking racks up a crazy base stat of 670. That puts him in the league of legendaries such as Groudon and Kyogre. The only thing hampering his insane power is the fact that he has the ability Truant, which causes him to skip every second turn. Honestly, if he didn't have such a crap ability, he most definitely would be banned from the metagame. But we remember how frustrating Slaking was in-game fighting Norm, so if you can figure out how best to use this powerhouse, you'll be pulling in the wins big time. So those were the top 10 strongest Pokemon. Let me know in the comments section down below if you're planning to put any of these guys on your team. My name is Roy Destroya, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.